Impulse Buying: How to Make the Sale. If you've ever gone into a store to buy something and came out with that and more, you may have experienced an impulse buy. Chances are really good you've done this because 70% of people in a recent survey said they occasionally purchased items they didn't need or plan to buy. And another 15% said they did it frequently. Impulse buyers are great, and they practically sell themselves. But I've seen good salespeople miss opportunities because they didn't recognize and respond properly to an impulsive buyer. Discover why people buy impulsively, how to tell if you're talking to an impulse buyer, and the best way to approach an impulse buyer to make the sale. Over the course of several episodes, I'll be taking a look at some of the different types of buyers we interact with in sales. I'll be focusing on 4 distinct types, even though people don't always fit cleanly into each of these categories. You know, there are people who fall in between the lines, and there are even people who seem to buy differently based on the type of product they're shopping for. You may already know which type of buyer you are, but if not, listen closely and see if you can identify with any of the characteristics we'll be reviewing today. As a professional salesperson, it's really important to understand what type of buyer you are, and even more important to recognize that not everyone shops the same way you do. Today, we're going to talk specifically about impulse buyers. So why do people buy impulsively? Well, there's been a lot of discussion about why people buy, but one simple and popular formula is that people buy to avoid pain or heighten pleasure. If it's easy for them to get what they want from your product, chances are they'll buy it. This is true of all buyers, including impulse buyers, who are very impulsive. Impulse buyers hear about something or something gets their attention and they have to have it. In his 1987 paper, The Buying Impulse, Dennis Rook defined impulse buying as a sudden, often powerful and persistent urge to buy something immediately. Impulse buyers don't want to dwell on details and research. They've seen the product. They recognize a problem it solves, and voila, they want it. They're operating on inertia, and they're caught up in the moment. They're excited. In fact, research has shown that excitement is a major factor when it comes to sudden purchases. In another survey, about half of all impulsive shoppers said they had made an impulse purchase while in an excited state of mind. But how can you tell if you're talking with an impulse buyer? Well, as I just said, impulse buyers are generally excited, and you can tell. You can hear it in their voice, and you can see it in their face. They'll ask questions about how soon they can get it or what colors it comes in, what type of payment you accept, and provide other strong, positive buying signals. They may be less interested in details about the product than other types of buyers are. They may also be very focused on completing the transaction because they can't wait. They're looking for immediate gratification. Now, a word of caution. Even when you recognize that you're working with an impulse buyer, it's important to follow the sales process. Cutting corners, even with an impulse buyer, will usually end poorly. Sure, you may not need to go as deep into the features and benefits as you would with an analytical buyer, but you still need to establish personal value and move through the sales process before you close. Now, let's review some do's and don'ts for selling to an impulsive buyer. Do match their level of excitement and be sincere about it. If you're excited too, they're more likely to maintain their enthusiasm and buy. Don't oversell. Don't get bogged down in details or try to oversell them. This can kill the momentum and lower their enthusiasm. Do use a confirmation and invitation after your close to help reduce feelings of buyer's remorse, which is very common for impulse buyers. So here's an example of a confirmation and invitation where we're confirming the customer made a great decision and inviting them to let us know how everything worked out for them. Tim, you made a great decision today, and I know you're going to love your new XYZ. Be sure to give us a call back and let us know how you're doing with it. By saying you made a great decision today, and I know you're going to love your new XYZ, you're helping to confirm and validate Tim's buying decision. It'll help prevent him from second-guessing himself or feeling buyer's remorse. And by saying, be sure to give us a call back, you're communicating confidence, which again reinforces that he made the right decision. People buy for very similar reasons, but they do it in a variety of different ways. Impulsive buyers are excited, focused, and they need your help to guide them through the process. Remember to match their level of excitement and reinforce their decision after you close. Today's 1-2 punch: adjust to your buyer to make more sales.